So, a few weeks ago, I ran the first ever Project Zomboid tournament. I invited the entire internet and gave away Steam keys to the 6 most successful zombie killers, as well as a few other prizes along the way. Christmas was celebrated, a safe house constructed, walls destroyed, diaries written in, a community rescue launched, spawn points flooded with zombies, and an oddly well-informed cabbage merchant remembered. But first, the setup. To properly challenge new players and old alike, I set up the server to be mostly vanilla, but with a bunch of map mods and a few other mods to facilitate the turning. One of the mods will come into the spotlight soon enough, but the most important one is the map mod Raven Creek. If you're not familiar with it, this map is amazing. It was the only place the contestants were allowed to spawn into, and would be a good challenge for any level of player, and provide enough Zeds for the entire tournament all by itself. But one of the trophies I gave out was for the first person to escape the city and make it to Muldraugh. You see, Raven Creek is quarantined and surrounded almost entirely with an almost unbreakable double fence. You can destroy it with sledgehammer or welding skill, but only after you find the right tools. You can also find the edge to the north and walk through miles of forest. But to make things a bit more interesting, I added hundreds of zombies all along the way to the edge of the map. I also added a bunch of cars and trucks outside the gate to make the journey to Muldraugh smoother. Maybe. And finally, the day to begin the tournament rolled around, the server was open, and right away a wild Vinny appeared. He had a bit of a head start and quickly made use of it. Ah, the early game. Such a frantic time of running and hiding in bathrooms, drinking from toilets, eating food before it goes bad, and watching Woodcraft. But after a short carpentry diversion, the real zombie killing would begin. Vinny eventually found a nice duplex and started looting and racking up the kill count, Mario Brothers style. He was pretty quick to find a working car and attempted to head out north, and I, of course, as the admin, was invisible but hopped in to enjoy a quick ride, and promptly found out that you can't get out while Vinny is moving. But Vinny's head start was soon to come to an end as 2 new players entered the fray, Basil and Kyle. Kyle, of course, took the only logical option and started booking it straight north out of town. And Basil, knowing that the name of the game is Kills, started into her grisly work. A little too well in Ediscapa. Quickly found a van in working condition and headed for parts unknown. Meanwhile, Kyle's day off was running into quite a few snags along the way, and he decided it was best to turn around and head back to the city. Only to die of his injuries. Day 2. It opened with a surprise. Already one of the players had claimed one of my Steam games. Basil had made it all the way to Muldraugh, had found one of my gift vans, was already making headway into the kill count. Meanwhile, Vinny was sporting a new skin, unfortunately, and already making up for lost progress with his nail bat. Speaking of new skin, realizing that Muldraugh was a nice place to visit, sure, but lacked atmosphere and was a bit dead, decided the quickest way to get back into the action was to off himself and respawn. And boy oh boy was she making quite the racket. Not usually something you'd want to do for yourself, but if you can get a friendly car to do it for you, well then... And it was then, after following Basil around, that I found out that Basil had discovered the correct use of my absolute favorite mod, the Survivor's Journal. You see, this mod lets you save your skills progress to an item, a journal, and if your newly spawned character can read that old journal, you'll get all your old skills back. So Basil was playing Project Zomboid, the roguelite game, and doing it quite well, if noisily. Day 3 was a bit of a resting day for many players. Numbers got racked up, but the initial flurry of killing and dying had abated somewhat, and they were realizing that only through sheer persistence would they be able to really take home the trophy. And persistence pays off in the end. Basil had found the quickest way out of the city and found that the base outside has both plenty of ammo, and plenty of targets. This was also the day that we found out that several of the spawn points throughout the city had actually been swarmed by zombies, and merely spawning into one of those places was a death sentence. I, as the admin, did my best to clear out the area and put in some escape ropes, but it was all for naught, as usually the players would spawn in and choose to die and try a new spawn. Day 4 brought with it a new contestant, Denver, and would see some of the fiercest fighting of the week. For, you see, I'd set another trophy to be claimed by the first player to reach 1,000 kills on a character, and 2 of them had come close, Basil and Vinny. But the thunderous and continuous report of Basil's shotgun, and an unfortunately timed death for Vinny, saw the second trophy go to Basil as well. We celebrated with some smoke and with some cake, and Vinny, not to be put off, vowed that he'd complete his own special quest. Day 5 saw a new skin for Basil and a renewed determination to find a quicker way through to the rest of the map. Sledge in hand, he forged a path that his trusty truck could truly traverse, only to tragically turn from the tide of turned tyrants. Yet, while he was braking badly, Vinny's mind was set to making a safe house in the south side of the city, open for all to rest and recuperate. And the days waxed short, and the tournament came ever nearer completion. The sanctuary, he dubbed it, and a fresh patch of cabbage was sown to hopefully win him the third trophy, the My Cabbages trophy, to be won by the first person to harvest 10 cabbages. Day 6 led us to a scary time, as Denver had become trapped in a broken-down van, surrounded by Zeds and unable to escape. Every time he logged off, the Zeds would scatter away, but then all too quickly return after he reappeared. A cry for help came out and the community responded. A rescue attempt was to be mounted, and new, even higher kill counts would be achieved. Hundreds of Zeds would be slain or kited away. Or at least, that was the plan. And from all reports, that's what happened. But unfortunately, it happened while I was asleep, so I didn't get to record any of it. They also had a Christmas party without me, and the final hours of the tournament closed out quietly as the top 3 contenders jockeyed for position and took home their prizes. So congratulations to Vinny, Basil, Macho Man, and our 3 runners-up, Denver, Kyle, and Vicious RG. It was a great week, and it won't be our last. In fact, we have scheduled another tournament for this October the 9th, 2022. This time around, it won't be a fragfest, but something a little different, a scavenger hunt, with even more prizes to give away, surprises to find, and friends to make. You can sign up on our Discord server and log into our multiplayer server whenever you'd like. The server's name is the BackLog Tournament Server, and as always, I'll play with you again next time.